Alright, boys, today we're going to be talking about some things you want to do in Honkai Star Rail, or you may not want to do in Honkai Star Rail, so you can have the best progress, the best starting experience, and overall be the most resourceful. So the first thing I'm going to cover is the stamina system. That one's really important. There's two things we have to look at it when we talk about stamina. Now, first of all, we have 180 stamina in this game. And the way you replenish it is by waiting, I believe it's 6 minutes. I used to be 8, I think, but then they changed it to 6. It also used to be 160 cap, then 180. It's probably going to stay the same in the final game, but overall, just like, it doesn't matter what the actual number is because the tips will still apply. So, first of all, what you want to do is when playing a game, there's going to be things that you can spend your stamina on, your Trailblaze power. If you've played Genshin before, it's like your domains, okay? You have different activities you can spend it on, and they reward you with experience, and then some drops, right? Artifacts or trace materials for your talents and whatever. And you always want to make sure while playing, you're never capped at 180, okay? Because stamina is the most holy resource in these types of games, and you want to make sure you're using it as best as possible. And every second that your stamina is capped means that it's another second that you're not gaining any new stamina, which from some people you might not care, right? You might play this super casually, right? You just want to hop on, play like 20 minutes or something on launch, hop off, that's fine. Talking about the ones that really care about the launch and want to have the most out of what the game offers. And for those, you never want to be at 180, but you also never want to use your gems here, your stellar jades, to refresh your Trailblaze power. You can do it 8 times a day, but it's not worth it. The price also goes up when you use it. It's not worth it unless you're a whale. If you're a whale and this doesn't matter to you because you know you're going to top up as much as you need to get what you want, then this doesn't matter, right? You can just use as much as you want. But never use this if you're free to play. It's such an incredible waste, no matter how down bad you are. Just wait like the 20 minutes, whatever it takes for you to get enough stamina to run whatever you want to run. It is not a good idea to just use them straight up. Same thing with fuel. You get fuel mainly, from the beta at least, from leveling up. There's going to be some other stuff with like your travel log and everything, and maybe some quest rewards that will also award you with fuel, but you never want to use fuel. The reason is because as you progress in your world level, which is your equilibrium level, you get higher level content. And if you've played Genshin before, you know how you don't want to use your resin refreshes until your AR 45, because then you have access to the highest artifact domains. It's sort of the same thing here. You want to wait until you can get the highest stage of artifacts for your character, and the highest access to highest level like domains or cocoon, whatever they're called. Because if you do it early, that stuff is going to be thrown away very quickly, because you're going to progress a lot. And then the stuff you just wasted your like precious fuel on is going to be invalid, and you're not going to be able to use it in the future. And then you're going to feel sad about it. So I'd say hold off on using fuel. I know it's going to be very tempting to use it because you want to progress in something and you can't beat it, and you're like, oh, but like, da. Trust me, if your friend keeps texting you, oh, lol, you didn't beat it, lol, I beat this, almost like 4 levels higher than you. Don't stress. I know FOMO is usually a big thing. FOMO meaning fear of missing out. It's fine if you're a little slow at the start. If you save these up, you're going to be so much stronger and further ahead than everyone else when you get further into the game. So lesson, don't use fuel early. Don't use your Trailblaze power to refresh your stamina. I believe it's 6 minutes for recovery, and that's 16 hours, I think, or 14 hours for a full recovery. I mean, you could just do the math in your head, but I'm like a little silly right now. But never use this, right? Always make sure you're not at 180. Just do something random. If there's nothing you like can think of doing, do something random just so you get out of the way. Any resource is probably going to be useful to you at some point in the game. So just do it. Even if it's just resources you can feed into other resources, it's still useful at that point. So just make sure you're never at 180. I just suggest, like, as soon as you start, maybe wait, actually. As soon as you start, maybe wait like the first very few missions. But like after that, after you like start getting going, you're out the tutorial and everything, start using it as much as you can. I'd say like try to stay at like an 80 to 100 like threshold is, so you can still do stuff if you want to do stuff, but you know you're not going to be capped, and you can just play without having to worry. So I think that's a good idea to do. Now, next thing is going to be daily missions. Now, for these daily missions, I actually have a website, which is the Honkai Star Rail fandom, that I'm going to pull up here as well. I hope that looks good on the video. It looks okay. So all the missions are on here as well, but what we care about most is this screenshot right here that I took. When you do these daily missions, right? It's sort of like your commissions in Genshin, but you have 5. And these award you with character XP, your adventure rank, sort of, in that sense, right? Like to get to a higher like equilibrium level, right? In your Trailblaze level, you need to increase your Trailblaze level to get to your equilibrium level increase. And this XP is what does that. So you want to, like, it's Trailblaze. It says it here too. I could have just read this too. It progresses your character and your like account. So that's like really, really important. And you get that from using your stamina, but also you get that from these missions, right? Without using stamina, but they also give you currency. I believe it's like 10, it's like 10, 10, 15, 15, 20 or something. Regardless, these missions are super important and you want to unlock these as soon as possible, okay? So on the first day that you hop on, I'm not too sure what the refresh timer is going to be because it depends on your server and everything. But as soon as you hop on, try to finish the tutorial, and then it's just a little bit after that and you immediately unlock these. And then do these first things first. Check when they refresh so you know what the time is that you want to like do this on. And then boom, get these done. Easy clap. Because this is going to be what you want to do every day. This is going to be your bread and butter. This is going to be your... This is going to be... I can't say these things, but like it's going to be very important to you, okay? Because they also just make you do stuff that you want to do anyway, right? And you're going to get most of these done. Like in the beta, you got most of these done by just playing a game. Because they were just things you wanted to do anyway, right? Now, next up is going to be your traces. And your traces, this has to do with your resource management, right? What I want to talk about, your resource management. Don't waste materials on like a bunch of different characters. So your stamina you spend on these things, right? Again, like I said, it gives you the Trailblaze XP. You get these Cocoon of Distortions, and there's a different one as well. This one is for characters, right? You level up your characters. There's also the light cone one, which is your weapon one. You can also do. But that one doesn't matter for now, right? It's the same thing pretty much, just translate to the other one. You have your traces here, okay? Your traces are pretty much your talents, if you're a Genshin player. And by doing these stages, you get these materials that you need for your traces or for your light cones. And you want to save as much as you can of these materials. You don't want to spread them out on like 7, 8 different characters, right? You want to focus on like 1 or 2 characters max, okay? When you focus on 1 or 2 plus, like maybe 2, like maybe 3 characters, okay? But 2, right? The guaranteed 5-star you get, and then maybe like a character you really like that seems really useful to you. Just focus on these 2, because as you keep playing, you're gonna unlock more characters, you're gonna pull more characters, and some characters may not be good, some characters may be good. Now, if you want to know who to invest in, I will actually link the video that Vulcan made, where he made a whole reroll tier list, but it's pretty much a whole like it's pretty much a tier list of who's good and who's not, right? And by watching this, he also explains what the characters do if you're curious, and it's just a good video overall. If you're curious about that stuff, on Genshin release, I was really correct about a lot of characters that people thought were bad, and I said they were good. For example, Bennett, I got a lot of hate for saying Bennett was good. I called him one of the best characters, and then turned out he was, at the start at least. He still is good now, though. But back then, I got like a lot of it, like Bennett in A tier, like S tier. I remember like the comments, he's like, oh, Bennett in A tier, C tier at best. And he got like 300 upvotes, and I was like, huh? These people are not playing the same game as me. But regardless, that's why I wouldn't take character opinions to like at face value. I would wait like a week until people have a better idea and more people play it. Obviously, the sample size of players is going to be so much bigger now than on the beta, so you're going to get a lot more stuff done. We're going to have a lot more like information about the characters. We're going to have a lot more characters, people with the characters, with all the specific characters that can try all these different like, types of content, the activities that we get to later in the game that maybe weren't available in the beta. So I'd hold off on like listening to other people's opinions for now. Obviously, there's a general idea on what's good and what's not. A lot of people thought like Jean was broken or something, and Genshin wasn't, right? And it's just always the same thing, right? It's always hard to evaluate a character at first. You think this is good because this is usually good in other games, but in this game, this may not be good. So regardless, that's all I wanted to say about the character stuff, but mainly gather your resources, don't spread them too quickly. Focus on 1 or 2 characters maximum. I'd say focus on the 5-star the most, obviously, that's going to be your best character. And then maybe focus on like your light cones instead of a character, because you can use them on any character, so it's actually a better way of using your resources because they're a bit more future-proof in that sense. And you're gonna get all your characters up anyway at some point, right? Or at least the ones that are important or that you like. But for the start, especially if you spread them out too much and you stop using them because like, okay, this guy doesn't work here or whatever, it's going to be painful and you're going to progress a lot slower than other people. So I'd say just focus on 1 or 2 characters and boom, you're chilling, okay? Now the next one I want to talk about is also very, very important. And I think it's going to be very obvious to a lot of people, but I think most of you are going to be very lazy and not do it the way you're supposed to. And that's going to be picking up everything, okay? When you get to a new map, there's an interactive map too, but the map in-game is pretty good. When you get to a map, you have all these things that you can go to, all these chests you can claim, and what you also have are these things, these warp trotters, okay? They are very, very important too, because they give you 60 of the stellar jades, right? So you can get a lot of summon currency early by just doing this, and if you want to summon, you know, summoning is always good. We're going to be talking about something after this. You want to get as many of these as possible. You never want to miss out on these. Again, interactive map. If I remember, I'll link it. I hope I'll link it. If not, it's very obvious. They're marked on your map like this. You know where to go. You go get them. They look like this. They get you some of these. I couldn't find an English one, and the Google Translate one looked ugly, so I didn't want to use that one. But this is what they are, the warp trotters, and they drop your thingies, right? Again, here zoomed in. I don't know why I prepared this, but anyway. Very important, okay? Pick up everything. If you've played Genshin, you know that you're like, oh, I pulled this character that's new. Oh, wait, he requires like flowers from the first area. Oh, what the hell? And then you're like, oh, if I just like, when I walk past them, pressed E to pick them up, whoa, I would have been fine. And it's the same thing here. You want to make sure you pick up as much as you can. And also fight as many enemies as you can. Fight everyone you see on the map, because enemy mats will always matter. Obviously, the higher equilibrium level you get, the better drops will be from these enemies. But you always want to do these enemies regardless, right? They respawn daily or maybe more than daily. So you want to farm them as much as you can, okay? Very, very important. This is probably the most important one. I can't stress how important it is to have your materials ready, okay? The worst thing is, imagine you're playing this game for 2 weeks. You've been too lazy. You're like, I don't want to fight these enemies, but I'm too lazy. And then you pull a 5-star. Now you log in. Oh my god. Okay, I found a warp trotter. Okay, I guess I'll do him. Oh, I'm doing a single summon. Oh my god, it's Seele. And then you're like, oh wait, hold on. I don't have anything to level her up or like get her stuff increased. And then, you know. So I'm just saying, do everything you can. Pick up everything you see. Okay, even if it takes like a 20-second detour is not going to kill you. Pick up everything, and then with the other like tip, stay on the same like 1 or 2 characters you're gonna level up, because it's going to be very frustrating if you level up everyone and then your overall strength may be like strong, but you don't have anyone that's like actually strong that can carry you through like stuff that's really tough. Like, would you rather have 1 really fast car or 3 average speed cars, right? You'd have the 1 really fast car. So that's why you want to focus on 1 car or 1 character in that sense, okay? Now, last one is a summon one. Now, if you're new to gachas, this one might be a little complicated. If you're in Genshin, you have a standard banner and an event banner, which is a character with featured characters that are 4 stars. And you're going to have your standard banner currency, and you're going to have your special banner currency, right? These are called the special pass and the rail pass. So what these are just for summoning, right? You need to use a ticket. You summon a little like train bus thingy. I actually don't know how to describe it. And then you warp. Boom, you get a new character, okay? Or you do a multi-summon, right? You do a single summon, you can do a multi-summon if you use 10. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? And the thing you want to most avoid here, if you're a new player, you haven't played Genshin before, right? Because it's not a Genshin exclusive thing, but like, it's not super common in other gacha games. And Genshin is probably the biggest one that would have this. I'm gonna use Genshin as an example a lot, obviously. This one is for the standard banner. Now, the standard banner you don't want to summon on unless you have these, right? If the game gives you these, you want to use these. But you never want to use your Stellar Jades to buy these, okay? You never want to use your Stellar Jades to buy this, and you never want to use your Starlights to buy this, or your Embers to buy this. Well, your Embers you actually do, because it's only 5 every month. So you want to do this as, like, obviously, always want to empty these out first. I might do a whole, like, Ember shop, like, guide for free-to-play players, because you obviously can't get, like, infinite amount. Like, I'm gonna have probably everything bought out, but there is going to be stuff that's more important than other things. So I'm going to talk about this in a separate video. Also, I'm sorry the screenshot that I have is not the best. Again, I forgot to take screenshots and ask my friends for them either. So you hate to see it. Anyway, the Ember Shop's really is really nice for you too. That's the only way you can get Star Rail passes outside of when the game gives you to them from like logins or like events or quests. But you, generally speaking, don't want to summon the standard banner. You always want to summon on the event banner, okay? You always want to summon for the new character because you can build up pity here too and everything. And the way you can exchange and everything is so much better. The standard banner is always going to be there, right? It's not going to run away. And it's not going to have anything like... It has pity, but it's not going to have the same pity as like the event banner here. And it's not going to be as good for you. And usually these are the best characters in the game anyway. For the most part, right? Launch, we'll see. Again, I don't want to like base my judgment off like beta stuff because I feel like we will just learn a lot more about the game as you like keep moving forward. Like a lot of stuff like in games usually changes, right? Like it depends like what gacha game you've been playing. People will say this and this and this is broken at launch, and then like a week or two later you're like, oh, actually this is not that good, but he was cool, so we all said he was good, right? But yeah, again, the only takeaway here is if you get dupes of characters, you get that are 4-star or higher, you get starlights, and if you get 3-star dupes, you get embers. And with embers, you can buy a bunch of crafting materials and everything. But for the most part, the main takeaway from this one is just don't use your stellar jades on the rail pass. Only use it on the special pass because this is not worth it. You'll get stuff from you'll get these for free from playing a game, and you'll eventually get your standard better pity up to the point where you get an actual 5-star. But on the event ones, you're on your own, and that's where you want to use your own currency, okay? Yes, I made all these things in Photoshop just so I could talk about them, and so it's easier for me. But I'm going to link the website in the description. I'm going to link the Vulcan video in the description and the interactive map. Actually, I'll hold off on the interactive map. I'll make a separate video about this, because right now it's only Chinese as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to wait until we have an English one, and then I'm going to make a video about it. Again, the map in-game is fine. But most important tips, super quick rundown, is going to be... Never be capped on stamina. Don't use your fuel until you're a higher equilibrium level. Always do your daily missions. Try to get to them as quick as possible on launch. And then for traces, focus on like your materials in general. Focus on 1 or 2 characters at max, so you don't end up wasting them. Maybe hold on to them, right? Even if you like a character that you like pulled recently, hold on to like a 1 or 2 until the story and the campaign gets too difficult, or like the fights you're doing. Then maybe you can start working on some more. But even then, I mean, I'd say just wait until you get something like better, until we have a better idea of what's good and whatnot. Pick up everything, fight everyone as much as you can, because very important. And don't buy Star Rail passes. Only buy special passes with your Stellar Clutter gems. Stellar Jades. I hate the currency name. Anyway, with your Jades. Let's just call them Jades, okay? With your JSs, with your SJs. I can't even speak. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you guys when the game drops. Might be live streaming. Probably not though. But I'll be making tons of more videos. So if you do like these, please subscribe. That would help me a lot. This is a new channel. Unless you watch this on the main. And then that's not the case. But yeah.